Yeah, well, never easy when you can see the goal so early in the game, but what's your overall view of the performance?
I think the first half especially, we didn't compete. We were too late onto second balls. We weren't winning enough first balls. When we got over the ball, we lost it, and they were on top in them sort of areas, so you don't give yourself a chance to get going in the game, and then you concede sloppy goals from set plays, which we spoke about, which we've been very good so far on out throughout pre-season, so that's disappointing. Second half we actually got going again. I made a change at the beginning, the back of the first half, where we brought Liam Feeney on to just change the shape a little bit. So he come in, that was a good positive from today, watching him play, and we actually improved second half. But you can't start half like that and expect to win football matches. But we know that it's about us now making sure that doesn't happen again and we improve from that.
You matched up each other, didn't you, with the wing backs from the start of the play, but to concede to a pretty straightforward corner and a header for the first goal, that must be really disappointing.
Yeah, it is, because obviously you pride yourself on getting them things right. Like I said, we've worked on them a lot and we've been okay up until now, so it's disappointing to get that. But I was disappointed with them goals, but I was more disappointed with the fact that we didn't compete enough in them first stages. And that disappoints me, but it's something that we spoke about as a group just in there. I was mentioned it again at half time at the end of the game. So it's something that you must compete in these games. You must compete in your 18-yard boxes. There's long throws coming in. We've done a lot of work on it, but it's up to them to do the jobs when they're in it.
Yeah, it's about competing all over the pitch, isn't it? You can look at the midfield and say we didn't have hold of that, or how you defend.
Yes,
you've got to do it as a team, and they were better at that today, probably.
I would say so, and especially in that first half, we got to grips with it more. Second half, and at the end of the first half, and Warren we started to be more of a threat. We started to pick up more loose ball running forward, but we lost that midfield battling there today. We were short to the bounce of the ball. And then they were quicker on the press in there. You've got to be quicker around your feet to be able to get the ball out. And we didn't do well enough in them areas. But we know where we need to be good at, and the guys know that as well.
You mentioned the positive about Liam Feeney coming on. You know, you made the change tactically very early on.
Yes.
We saw the quality that he's got, certainly.
No, definitely. I think when you lose a game, you're always looking for some sort of positives out of it. Sometimes you can't take any. But today I've seen some glimpses in the second half, like Savoni as well. He's fighting up there. He's getting whacked all over the place. It's some good. I just watched the chances back there, for and against. Either keeper's not had really a lot to do, to be honest. We had some good crosses in the box, but Feeney made a difference to us. So I'm delighted that that's the only thing really to come out of today, with a spirited bit of a fight back second half. But it's still not acceptable to be putting in that performance, especially in the first half.
And you mentioned James Vaughan, you want to get the best out of him, and perhaps not with his back to goal all the time. You want him in different situations, don't you? And it's hard when you don't control a game to do that. Exactly,
to get yourself up the pitch. Again, Liam Feeney will give us that on that right hand side, because obviously straight away you can see he's taking people on and getting crosses in the box, which the whole team's needed. To be honest, we've not really had that so far with the bits of injuries, and we're losing Corey and things like that. So we need to try and get all those attacking players available to give us that structure up there as well. But we need to be better in them midfield areas, picking stuff up and playing.
With the changes in the squad, 2 new players in this week as well. I mean, it does take time to bed in and get it right, doesn't it? And to make sure you find the right system to suit those players.
Yeah, as well. Of course it is. Obviously, we looked at that. We went to a back 3 today because obviously we're looking what might be available on the bench as well to change stuff and starting. We didn't know Liam was going to be coming in until Thursday, so we'd already done quite a bit of work working towards this game, and we thought it was the right thing to do. You can always say in hindsight, would he have started that, or should he have started Liam? But I had to be mindful of to make sure I knew he hadn't played for 2 or 3 weeks, so that was me thinking as well.
I suppose the fans that aren't here, that look at that today, be very disappointed at a 3-0 home defeat, but it is still early days. I mean, you need to be patient. Yeah,
of course it is. It's going to be patient. It's about bedding these lads in. There's about 8 or 9 new signings in there, getting used to each other and the ones from last year. But listen, I'm under no illusion that if I was a Tranmere fan, I'd be disappointed. I'm the manager. and I'm disappointed. I'd expect nothing less than that, because that's where your group of fans are. That's the passionate people. So we don't accept that as a performance, and we won't make excuses for it. But we know we need to be a lot better. We know where we need to be better, and we know we need to improve, stick together, and make sure we go back on the training pitch and keep working at it.
And it isn't all about the manager, Mike, either. I mean, if the players need a reminder about how tough League Two is and what a difficult league is. I mean, that shows today. I mean, Cheltenham got the playoffs last season, didn't they?
Exactly. It's not an easy league. We go from playing against Mansfield last week, where we're competing, we're solid, we're fighting, and we've come today, and it was if we just thought we might have been able just to turn up and play. They've been stung recently, Cheltenham. They've got beaten on Tuesday. They lost the first league game. So they've come here. You've got to be ready though for them times. That's it. They're coming here to try and take points off you. You cannot start games like that, and that's the biggest lesson for us as a group today that we've learned, definitely.
Yeah, that's the challenge now. If you say the way Cheltenham responded, that's the way you want your group to respond to Cambridge next week.
Yes, that's what you need. You want a positive reaction for it. You take those little bits out of the second half, like we spoke about, but then you have to improve right the way through, and I know where we need to be with that.
And the fact that the fans weren't able to come to a lot of trial games today with 1,000 fans coming in,
yeah.
Club just weren't quite ready. I think they'll be ready next time round.
Yeah.
It'd be great just to have 1,000 fans in the stadium.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I think that makes a massive difference coming here to the people coming here. They've probably got off lightly with not having a Tranmere crowd here, so we're disappointed about that, but that's no excuse. It's the same for both teams, but we're delighted if we can get back at any stage. Yeah, definitely.
After putting in two pretty solid defensive and robust performances,
yes.
Can you put your finger on as to why they just didn't start in the same manner today?
No, I just didn't think we got to that bounce of the ball and the quickness of it. The reason for it, we'll look through it and come over it and making sure, but I think that comes down to your own personal thing about you when you're playing. It's a match-up in that middle of the pitch. It's you against him. It's your own personal thing within that to go, I'm going to come out on top in this now. And you need to come out in more of them duels than when you don't. If you don't come out with them duels winning them, you're not going to get a chance to get on the ball and play, because the games are the faster start. You've got to come out on them things. There's no other way around it. It must be done.
And in a situation like this, when you discuss it as a side or as a players, is it more about getting stuff off the chest at half time as to what's gone wrong, or is you take a more analytical approach, or after the is there much around about stuff like this after the game when it's gone wrong?
No, I think I just spoke to the group. I think the group know. The group knew they weren't where they needed to be today in that first half. They knew. You don't need to tell me that how they're feeling. They know that. I can tell by looking at them. I can tell when I spoke to them. So the group know that. They know they're honest lads. And yourself if you've been up for it and you've been hard done by, or you've just literally not got going and you've not competed enough in that first half. They knew that.
Just on Feeney as well, we weren't sure if we were going to see him at all today, but he's ended up being thrusted into the action quite early. And I know Derek's already alluded on it, but that is a massive boost to see someone who's brought instant quality into the side, isn't it? No,
definitely. Again, it's a good positive for us from this game today that it could have backfired, because I've had to bring him on early and I could have got him injured, but I needed something to try and change the game of some sort, to give us some sort of impetus going forward, and he did that, and he come in and he showed his quality. So that's something we're really pleased about, but on the other hand we're obviously disappointed, but we know we go again on Monday. We work really hard at trying to be a better team and make sure we start getting better.
We know Morgan and Corey are still a few weeks away.
Yes.
In terms of Woolery's fitness,
yes.
What are we looking at? A couple of weeks until he can be considered?
Yeah, I still think that's maybe a couple of weeks away. Again, I'd have to. Sometimes you'd be taking a bit of a gamble, but we'll have a look at him this week. We'll have a look at Woolery this week and see where he's at, and then obviously Morgan may be back in some sort of training this week. Corey's still a couple of weeks away, so we'll keep a check on all that.